Alright, here we go. Told you I'd be happy. Zoop. Did you ever play the Souls games? No. The reason I never played the Souls games is because I'm not really interested in them, because their gimmick is, well, they're really quite hard. That's not why I play games. I don't play games to be frustrated. Because their gimmick is being hard. I play games for enjoyment, to relax. And I don't find that kind of game relaxing. I find it frustrating. The closest to a Souls game that I've enjoyed is probably Dauntless. Because every fight in Dauntless is a boss fight, so they're all quite challenging. And like Souls, it's all about remembering the pattern, looking for the opening. Lots of dodge rolling, shit like that. That's about as close as I've ever come. And that's not terribly close. Civilian Waffles, hello there. It's been a while since I've seen your name much. We've got a lot of old schoolers coming back. Some usernames I've not seen in ages are popping back in. How you doing? Loved your review on the Stream Deck Mini. Maybe kind of want one, even though I have the regular size one. Well, I'm on my desk right now. I have two regular size Stream Decks and the Mini, all working side by side. On my primary Stream Deck, I've got my stream controls for my scenes and microphone muting and recording on and off, things like that. On my secondary Stream Deck, which is synced up to the same profile, so I can do the same thing from both Stream Decks, but on the secondary one I've got just quick access to my little emoticons here, because I've got a whole page of those. And on the Mini, I've currently got set up a bunch of different stuff, but right now it's sitting on the page with my new little splash videos, which I haven't used any of the stream yet, but I've got 4 different ones set up that I built yesterday, just for certain emotional moments in the stream. So, for example, mining out this structure here, I might activate this one.
1 eternity later.
I might pump the volume up on that one a bit, actually. It seemed a bit quiet. But I've got a couple things like that, little video overlays I built up. So that's what I'm using the Mini for right now, but I also have a couple of different things set up on the Mini as well. But yeah, it does make a really nice ancillary device, even if you've already got a main unit. I think I'll try and see how my Animal Crossing... It's another game I never got into, Animal Crossing. It's another one of those I always meant to, because I hear people love that game series. They must love it for a reason. But it's another one I never got into. So now I'm just waiting for the inevitable Nintendo Switch Animal Crossing game, and that's when I'll dive in. And now that I'm streaming, I mean, I say now that I'm streaming, I've been streaming for years, but I think it will make a good stream game as well. So that will give me another excuse to get into it. If what the game just said is true, No Man's Sky has... Yeah, because it's procedurally generated, No Man's Sky has a lot of planets. A lot of planets are very similar. But like Minecraft, it's procedurally generated, so... I mean, on Java Edition Minecraft, you're essentially dealing with an unlimited world. Not technically speaking, but essentially. And it's the save file size that restricts it slightly more on consoles, but they're still so big you'll never explore all of it. No Man's Sky is the same way. It's procedurally generated based off math. Like, they haven't individually built that many planets. They're all just procedurally generated based off an algorithm. Like Minecraft biomes are. Except they're whole planets instead of a single biome. But yeah, there's gajillions. Oh yeah, I forgot this update things float. I was very confused for a moment. Yeah. Still gets me from time to time too. So many years of items sinking. Oh, easy dolphins. Don't want to accidentally hit you. Can't wait for Animal Crossing. Do we know anything about Animal Crossing Switch yet? I don't remember if they talked about it at E3 or they teased it, but I mean it's coming. It has to be coming. But do we know anything at all about it yet? New Leaf, the last one released for console, was my first taste of the whole series. Yeah, I very nearly bought New Leaf. I had it in my hand several times as I was sitting in a store, looking at the box. I don't know why I never did. Not a single thing. They're probably gonna wait till probably gonna wait till Pokemon is out of the way. Like we'll get Pokemon Let's Go, and maybe they're saving Animal Crossing for the middle of next year, and at the end of next year they'll have the big Pokemon game. But there is no doubt that there's one coming. There has to be one coming. There's no Animal Crossing for Switch, we're just doing ourselves one, yeah. I honestly thought we were going to get one this year, because I thought the Animal Crossing mobile game was their tease into it. You know, get the franchise in more people's minds, like they did with Pokemon Go, for example, excuse me. And like they did with Pokemon Run before they launched Odyssey. I thought they were just, you know, warming up the franchise, ready for a Switch release. But it never came. It will come, it just hasn't done yet. Did I say Pokemon Run? I meant Mario Run, obviously. Let down that was awesome. I'm waiting for everyone else to review it before sinking money into a Switch interesting Pokemon again. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I liked Ultra Moon. I enjoyed it. It's a nicely built Pokemon game, but yeah, the disappointment of having that follow up, you know, Sun and Moon, and while it was different in some noticeable ways, it wasn't different enough to really justify releasing two. It should have just been a single third pillar game. It should have just been Yellow and, you know, Emerald kind of game. But releasing two more under the same label, and it's just, you know, barely changed. It was just a bit obnoxious, wasn't it? That said, though, next time I do want to replay that generation, I will be playing the Ultra versions, of course, because they are much nicer, especially in the first few hours, than the originals were. All that severely irritating hand-holding crap has been dulled down significantly in the Ultra versions. But yeah, it's I think it hurt the franchise in a lot of fans' eyes. I wonder if I would have ever finished playing it had it not been the game we were doing a live stream with. Like if I was playing Ultra Moon just privately, I wonder if I would have ever bothered to finish it. Because we did take a fairly big break between the streams as well. A few months, in fact, before we got around to finishing it. So I have my doubts. played all the Zeldas? No. Played the first Zelda, like the very, very first one. Never actually finished it. Played a little bit of second Zelda and went, well, this is a bit weird. This is nothing like the other one. What are they doing? It's a weird side-scrolling thing. Well, whatever. And then I barely touched the Zelda franchise at all until Breath of the Wild. And I picked up Breath of the Wild because it was the only major release launch title for the Nintendo Switch that I was even remotely interested in playing. So I picked it up kind of by default, but I was a bit resentful of it. But then I started playing it, and I was like, holy shit, this is an amazing game. I love it, 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 I love it. So now, I'm keen on the Zelda series. I want to know what comes next. I don't think I'll go back and play any of the old ones, because what I like about Breath of the Wild is... Well, I mean, the things I like about Breath of the Wild are not in the other Zelda games. They're all much more linear, smaller in scale, mechanically different. So it wasn't the world of Zelda so much that I got attracted to in Breath of the Wild. It was the game mechanically that I really enjoyed. Although I did grow to have an affection for certain characters, like Beetle. The only Zelda I played was the Philips CDI version. Really? Are you just trying to make a joke here, or are you literally, that's the only Zelda you played? Oh god. You poor thing. Can we get some head pats in chat for a little emo girl having to suffer through the Zelda Philips CDI game? Is that what your dad made you do for punishment when you were a bad girl? You've been naughty. You have to play Zelda CDI for 3 hours. But Dad, no! Don't talk back to me. Ocarina, yeah, I hear a lot of people. Ocarina is one of their favorites. Still, you're one of the few people who named Skyward Sword. There's something that I liked. I hear a lot of bad things about that from hardcore Zelda fans that don't like it much. It's literally the only Zelda I've ever played. Oh my gosh. Have you got a Switch? You should get a Switch. Play Breath of the Wild. It's amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Not just on the Switch, but ever. I enjoyed it so much. It's not perfect. It can be a little bit empty sometimes, but the way things flow in that game, the puzzles, characters and everything, it's just super enjoyable just to wander around in. Thought the first Zelda game was the original open world game? Well, it kind of was, wasn't it? It wasn't truly open world, but you did start, you picked up a weapon, and the game just went, go on then. Just go do things. And you'd wander in any direction at any point. But yeah, it's, I mean, the map wasn't that big, but yeah, it really was kind of a prototype for what became open world sandbox games, really, wasn't it? It's like the earliest proof of concept, almost, for the idea. Issues stuck in the motion controls work with you. Yeah, I love the way the motion controlled aiming worked in the Zelda Breath of the Wild as well. The motion controlled shrines, not so much. At least there was only like 5 or 7 of them or something. Wasn't too many, but every time I came across one of those motion controlled shrines, with one exception, which was the one you played kind of a gigantic game of golf with, that was fun. But all the other ones, I hated doing the motion controlled shrines. They were just so awkward. Get a Switch just to try Breath of the Wild because it looks so cool. The city I left me scared. Can't blame you. But no, the Breath of the Wild it really is just a magnificent game. I can't wait to see what happens next. We'll get a sequel eventually, I'm sure. Meanwhile, I want them to use that game engine for something else as well. Breath of the Wild, better than Mario Odyssey. Ooh, that's not one of those things you go, is this better than that? They're both excellent in their own way, but they're very different games. I mean, I'm not going to say the old, oh, you can't compare apples and oranges, because you can totally compare apples and oranges. I don't know why people even say that. It's easy to compare an apple to an orange. Just because they're different doesn't mean you can't make a comparison. That's what the word comparison means. The word comparison doesn't mean talk about two very, 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 very similar things. Comparison means compare one thing to the other. Of course you can compare apples to oranges. But when it comes to saying which one is a better game, I don't think that's a question that can be answered. But they are both extremely good games. Like, Odyssey is the first 3D Mario game I've bothered to finish in forever. That'll tell you something. That was an incredibly compelling experience. Loved every minute of it. I'll accept all fruit except melons, grapes, blueberries, and bananas. Really? That's some of my favourite ones. Grapes, blueberries, bananas. Fantastic. Bananas are actually a berry, by the way. Did you know that? Bananas are a berry. Still about fruits into blood's confused. What about tomatoes? I like tomatoes too. They're also a fruit, by the way. Which is that piece of trivia that everybody knows, but they keep telling people as if nobody knows. Did you know tomatoes are a fruit? Yes, we all knew tomatoes are a fruit. Because sooner or later, someone at a party tells us that, trying to be interesting. Same thing with bananas being berries. I keep telling people that, but it's something most people already know, I feel like. Fried tomatoes are the best. Yeah, tomatoes are good in so many different ways. Fresh tomatoes, fried tomatoes, turn them into sauces of all kinds. Add them to stews and curries. I think tomatoes get as much love as they should. They should be more highly praised. You know, tomatoes should get as much hype as the avocado does these days. Everyone's all about avocados these days for some reason. But now tomato's the hero. Or possibly tomato. I'm getting a big old banana going down. You know, one of my favourite ways to have bananas, and I haven't had this in, I don't even know how long. But certainly growing up, I had it multiple times a week. And that would be to mash up a banana and spread it on toast. It was fucking delicious. Maybe a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of brown sugar on top. Mmm. You set up my goals being a 10. Tomatoes are a powerhouse of antioxidants. Are they? I didn't know that. I might have known that. It sounds vaguely familiar, but it's not one of the bits of trivia that floats off the top of my head. Do you eat 5 a day? Fruit and veggies recommended? Not really, no. Thick slice of tomato, 2 slices of cut bacon, leaf of lettuce, bit of mayo, toasted multigrain bagel. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good combination, that stuff. I've had it in various ways. Don't know if I've ever had it on a bagel. Bagels are a less common form of bread in Australia, I feel like. Try banana in peanut butter as a sandwich for stars. That was going to be amazing. I'm not a big fan of peanut butter. I like peanuts, roasted peanuts, but never had much of a taste for peanut butter. Oh, nearly belted that dolphin. I really wish they wouldn't do that. I don't know if I've ever had pretzel bread. I've had pretzels. Don't love them. I've never had a soft pretzel. I don't even know whether you can get a soft pretzel anywhere in Australia. Seems like a New York thing to me. Or at the very least an American thing. But anytime I've heard a soft pretzel mentioned, it's always been in like a TV show that's based in New York or something like that. I wonder if the lack of bagels in Australian bread cuisine is due to our comparatively low number of Jewish people. That's one of the reasons they're so widely distributed in like New York, for example, right? Because a lot of Jewish people settled in New York and they brought the bagels with them. Or well, wait, were bagels? Did the Jewish people always make bagels, or did some New York Jew invent the bagel and then it became famous? How did the bagels become a thing? I need that knowledge. Banana cut in half with 3 scoops of ice cream. Oh yeah, the old banana split. Oh, haven't had a banana split in ages. Used to love a banana split. I used to have sliced banana on my ice cream most nights for dessert. Bit of vanilla ice cream, sliced up banana, bit of chocolate topping, or syrup, I think the Americans call it. Pretzel will do soft ones that come in the Krispy Kreme style glaze sauce. Interesting. Let's see if I can hunt them down. What's the plan today? Well, the plan right now is we're tearing down the monument, as you can see. We've got to tear it down in order to maximise the way spawning works for in Bedrock for the Guardians, and eventually build a farm over here. But depending on how long this takes us, we've got a few other things to get doing too. Bananas always were the thing that ruined banana splits for me as a kid. You know what? An unripe banana has ruined many a banana split for me. Like when I made it myself, I always made it with, you know, nearly overripe banana, so it's really sort of sweet and soft. But a lot of places, like restaurants and stuff, where you'd order a banana split, that's how they used up the unripe bananas they had. So it was always that slightly sort of restrictive mouthfeel to it, that you know, that unripe banana taste. That's the word I'm looking for. It's kind of astringent, but not quite. There's a word that I just can't think of. But yeah, unripe bananas are one of the worst things on planet Earth. Consumed a black banana recently. Tasted it. I've never had a completely black banana. I've had a banana that was you know, pretty brown in the skin. Almost, you know, squishy to the touch. For almost 5 bars of... What's a bar? How do you measure time in bars? Now, we always wind up talking about food at some point in my streams. Not usually about fruit, though. That's fairly novel. But yeah, bananas... Oh, come on, Dolphin, cut it out. Bananas are great. Can I miss them when they're gone? Sod off. So weird. They seem to run away when you come at them now. Well, since when are guardians cowards? Why do monkeys only eat bananas? Well, they don't for a start, but I feel like you're trying to set me up for a joke. They find them appealing. Haha, there it is. Tempted to try someday plantains. They need to be cooked. I don't believe I've ever had a plantain. I might have had some in a recipe somewhere along the line, but I've never obtained plantains, so I've never had to prepare them myself, so I don't know. Google might be a friend on that one, I think. Oh, jeez. Fuck off. Give me a fright. I was thinking about teeny tiny bananas, and all of a sudden the zombie attacked me. Sounds like a dream you might describe to your psychologist. Cheeky. Yeah, zombie spawn underwater now. There's a special kind of zombie called the drowned. And you just saw one there. There's another one over there. They just sort of hang out, swim after you. Some of them carry a new weapon called a trident, which is a projectile weapon. There we go. There's his swimming animation. No, 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 no. All the underwater killing you do, perhaps you could sort of a smart sort of fire aspect, yeah. Or sharp, sharpened? Sharpening? What's the name of the bloody thing? You know what I mean. But yeah, the fire sword is more trouble than it's worth. But it's just the enchants we happen to get on our first sword. Or first diamond sword, I should say. But yeah, the flame aspect is fun, but when you're harvesting cows and things like that, instant cooked meat, hooray. But for a lot of things, it's not that great. Especially fighting Endermen. Set them on fire, they start teleporting around everywhere every 3 seconds like madmen. Makes them very difficult to deal with. Minecraft used to be so peaceful. Well, you can still play on peaceful mode, so hostile mobs don't spawn. Oh, Nuki's hosting me. Hello. How you doing, Nuki? Is this an auto host or you're raiding me, hosting me? What's going on? You guys have heard me talk about Nuki before. She's a Fallout 4 streamer, primarily. I think she's streamed other stuff from time to time, but Fallout 4 mainly. I started watching it because I wanted to look for someone who was doing some Fallout 4 stuff to sort of get a refresher for Fallout 76. Hey, caught you. Yeah, you did. But, she's Cornish. She's British, so our time zones don't sync up very well, so I tend to catch her at least midway part through the stream when I wake up, you know, early in the morning. I'll watch her as I'm getting my day ready. Didn't get to watch her this morning, though, sadly. But yeah, you should definitely check her out. Give her a follow right now. Turn on your notifications so you can check her out when she's streaming next, because she is quite entertaining. Bit of a chatterbox. Never stops talking. But lovely and charming and charismatic and absolutely worth watching because she's fun. I want you to notice about Helena. Oh yeah, I named one of her characters she's using for permadeath too. Completed permadeath today, entirely down the lucky Bruno. Woot woot! Nice! Wish I'd caught more of it. But yeah, Nuki was starting a new permadeath character. And she was asking her chat room for names. And I think it was only the second or third stream of hers I've ever been in. And I suggested Helena Handbasket because it just made me laugh. And it won the poll she ran, so... And apparently, she was quite good luck too. Excellent. I'm sad I missed the victory moment. I'm sure someone clipped it. I'll check it out later. Hey Skull Kid, how you doing? You haven't caught me at a particularly exciting time, Nuki. I'm kind of just tearing down an ocean monument right now. So we're not doing that. It's not the most exciting thing you can ever do in Minecraft, but we're having a good chat, which is the most important thing in a stream, I find. I don't know exactly when you dropped in, but we're talking about bananas at the moment. And plantains. And tomatoes. Other fruit. I guess you'd be into that, because you're vegan, aren't you? You're all about the fruit, the food without faces. What can you teach us about bananas, Nuki? How many different ways does a vegan know how to prepare banana-based dishes? Yeah, blocks float now. Kind of the new aquatic update. It came out about a month back, I guess, at this point. Many changes to life in the water, including floating blocks. And all kinds of items, actually. Tomato-based fruit salad would be salsa? Not really. I've had tomatoes in many salads, including a fruit salad. Salsa is more of a halfway point between a salad and a sauce, really. That's what the name means, salsa. It means sauce. Salsa is cooked. Yeah, salsa is usually cooked as well. There are some uncooked salsas, but usually cooked, isn't it? Squid do anything now? Are they still the flavored texture version? No, I mean, they don't. They're still passive, but a little while back they did update them slightly. So when you go after them now, if I can demonstrate here. In fact, I'll hit him with the pickaxe so I don't insta kill him. They ink. They squirt ink and run away. Other than that, they're the same. It's cute though, right? But at least now they're not the only aquatic life. We've got fish and dolphins and turtles and drowned zombies. And if you watch closely, sometimes you'll see a dolphin playing with floating items as well. They boop them around with their noses. Oh, here we go. Are you going to do it? No? Okay. But yeah, they've made dolphins playful, which is adorable. But yeah, the inking squid thing isn't super brand new. That's been around for the last couple of updates, I think, but still awesome. Alright, I think that's most of the floaty stuff. Let's go put it away. Oh no, we still got some in here. Zerp, 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 zerp. Are there hostile water mobs aside from those temple guys? Yeah! Yeah, we've got drowned now, which are literally drowned forms of zombies. I should be able to find one pretty easily. Where are ya? But yeah, they spawn naturally. They can also be created if a zombie wanders into water, because undead mobs sink now. And so once a regular zombie drowns, he turns into a drowned. I can't seem to find one. Mine will turn up sooner or later. But yeah, those things spawn all over the ocean, so it's not just monuments. Oh, there we are. There's a couple drowned down there. There we go. He's going to swim for me in a second. There he goes. And one of them is even demonstrating one of the items they carry. That guy's got a nautilus shell. And you can get a nautilus shell by killing these guys. You can also fish them up occasionally as well, which I didn't know until very, very recently. But yeah, and they sometimes will spawn in with a new weapon as well. Whoops. With a trident, which is a projectile weapon. So now zombies can have projectile weapons. Or at least underwater ones can. And the... ooh, he dropped gold. Nice. And the trident actually does a lot of damage. Hey, he dropped the... not the shell. Hooray. Yeah, the trident does a bunch of damage too. It's like 4.5 hearts per hit. Which I think is as much as a sword does. Wait, you went to the end, didn't you? Yeah, last stream, last Sunday. So 5 days back. We did the end fight. Had a few glitches with it. Wasn't particularly happy about how it went, but we got there in the end. So yeah, got my shulker boxes now. Hooray! Oh, there's a pickaxe. Guess we're on our backup pickaxes now. Still a look alright. Thanks to the oh, there we go. There's one with the trident down there. There he is. Check him out. Ouch. I've got diamond armor and stuff on now, so it doesn't do as much damage as it should, but yeah. Or as it would if I was unarmored. But yeah, fairly lethal weapon if you run into one sort of early game. When we first came across them, when we were checking out the beta tests, I did a little aquatic survival test for a stream. First time I came across one of those guys with the trident, he wiped me out in like 2 hits. Just had no armor or anything on. Just nuked me. Damn, I missed it, so Skull Kid. Don't worry, you can catch up with it, Skull Kid. We're putting all the Minecraft streams up on the secondary YouTube channel, of course, as I'm sure you know. Not quite the same as catching it live, but at least you can catch up on what happened. You can even watch it at double speed on YouTube if you like. Have you thought about modding your Nintendo Switch into the one with aftermarket housings? I have a second Nintendo Switch now, so yes, I have started thinking about that. Because the Amazon Prime Day thing, they had the Switch for like $315 or whatever it was, $319, which is the cheapest the Switch has ever been anywhere in the world, apparently, once you account for conversion currencies and stuff like that. Currency conversion, I should say. So yeah, I did pick up a second Switch when that happened. Just because I happened to have the extra spending money sitting around because I got paid for the Sony stuff I did, so I could afford to splurge a little on something unnecessary. And because, yeah, it was ridiculously cheap, so I thought, why not? I could always use it to mod or use it as a gift or do something. But yeah, the deal lasted exactly like 45 seconds. Like when the deal started to when it was showing up as sold out, it was literally less than 45 seconds. Because that's how long it took me to process the order. And by the time I went back to the page, they were sold out. They did put them on again the next day, I think. But they lasted like a minute at most. I'm not sure how many they had for that price, but I managed to get one. I can reach from here, actually. There it is. It was the neon one, which is the Switch I don't have yet, so... Sorry for that, I suppose. But yeah, I've been thinking about what to do with it. I don't know if I want to do the... software mod to it to play emulations and pirate stuff and things like that. I mean, I wouldn't pirate stuff, but I'm not sure where the line is between when Nintendo detect those things, because they have been banning consoles, like flat out banning them from online entirely. And apparently a couple have been bricked recently. I haven't looked up on that news, but I saw a headline that says some people who've modded their consoles have now got bricked consoles. So I don't know whether I'll do the mod to make emulation possible on it, or I'll just use it to test out things like aftermarket cases and dick around with stuff like that. But yeah, still made that decision. It's like $230 US. Yeah, something like that. It was ridiculously cheap. Like I said, it was literally the cheapest the Switch has ever been anywhere in the world. So it was very difficult to resist. At the very least, I've got a spare dock now. The most expensive way to get a spare dock, but... and a couple of spare Joy-Con, I guess. It'll also come in handy when Nintendo finally do the cloud save thing, because I'll be able to test it, like locally, if I need to make a YouTube video or a guide or something about that. You know, how to move stuff between switches. I'll have 2 switches for making videos like that, which I suppose is a good thing as far as a content creator goes as well. There are lots of little excuses I use to convince myself to buy a second Switch, even though I absolutely do not need one. Switch to remind me of how I had to stalk the tracker on that page for a black new 3DS. Yeah. I caught wind this morning, by the way, that Katsukity, the people who make the mod kit for the video output for my 3DS, now do one for the Switch. So you can play the Switch in handheld mode and capture video externally over USB to an application on the computer, just like the 3DS works. Not going to be useful for most people, but for people like Digital Foundry, who did the video about it I saw this morning, it makes their comparisons easier when they're comparing how games run in handheld mode versus docked mode, things like that. Not sure if I have any use for it, but pretty cool that it exists. Just buy cheap Vita to use for emulation stuff. Actually, I have a couple of Vitas sitting around. I have no idea if they're any good anymore. The battery might be toast by now, but I do have at least 2 Vitas. Because I've got the Japanese 3G one, because it wasn't a worldwide release, so I ordered a Japanese one, so I was one of the first people in the world to get one, because I was, you know, wanted to make YouTube content about it, do a review, blah blah blah. Which wound up doing quite well, actually. That video was very popular. But then I got a local one as well. No idea what firmware version they're sitting on, no idea if the batteries are any good, but I do have a couple. I've also got a PlayStation TV somewhere around here as well. Is that all the floaties? Most of the floaties. should make a Switch SP clamshell design. Be interested to see if they could get away with doing that. Right, we should probably eat. Good Bunty polluting him. What am I polluting my Minecraft world? What am I doing? After a quick eBay search, PS Vita's not cheap. Really? How much are they going for these days? I would have thought they'd be pretty cheap by now. Oh, crap. Is the only dolphin... Oh, I got lucky again. It's the only dolphin around. Or his friend didn't seem to hurt his friend. I hate that you just kind of have to kill those things when you hit them once. If you don't, they just kick the shit out of you. Don't make me kill the dolphin. Just the way all the blocks float reminds me of polystyrene. Except I don't think these are small enough pieces for the turtles to choke on, so we're fine. This weird boxing of yours, I thought it was a random extra low res pigment. Lol. What are we talking about? The weird box thing? Extra low res pigment? I don't understand what's happening. Does buy it now priced 200, 300 Australian dollars for a Vita. Is that like new in box, or is that just what second-hand ones are still going for? That's ridiculous. Pink boxing up top. Oh, my shulker boxes. Don't think that'll be anything big, but okay. I'll take your word for it. Actually might leave the corners in place so I know what the borders are on this thing. Before I tear it all down, I'm going to put a couple of markers here to remind me of that. So I do need to know where the bounding box is. Still can't spell Shulker. Shulker. S-H-U-L-K-E-R, I think. There we go. S-H-U-L-K-R. Shulker. Sorry about 160 and those prices with second-hand ones. Brand new 3G one, $430. It's crazy. I wonder if they're that price because they're so popular in the emulation scene or something. It can't possibly be that valuable to most people. Oh, I guess we also answered the question just now that no, there are no more like sponge rooms hiding because we're now at the base floor. There are no more floors to excavate. That's a shame. I was kind of hoping there was at least sort of a hidden sponge room here somewhere. I guess not. So the sponges we have are the sponges we got. Oh well. Should be enough. The ones with older firmware had higher prices? Yeah, I'd imagine so. Usually the way with emulation. Old firmware before they patch out the exploits. I wonder if I even have my charger for my Vitas anymore. I know I still have the Vitas, I don't know what I did with the chargers though. In theory they should be in the power box, in my power drawer I should say. In theory. Alright, we are out of disposable picks, and we're pretty much out of shulker box space, so we might as well do a quick run back home, build a few more disposable picks, empty out the shulkers, come back to the rest. Should be heading off now, get ready for my trip to Virginia tomorrow. Alright, Solo, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy. Whoa, hey. That's aggressive. Peppering with arrows before I even materialise. Right, sorry. So, bye, Solar. Remember when the Vita was announced, Apple was still locked in with AT&T. It states everyone wanted them to be Verizon. Vita is being announced and Kaz Horizon. We're gonna use the best mobile network out of AT&T. Audible laughter from the audience. Don't remember any of that, probably because it wasn't relevant to me in Australia. Actually, I don't even know whether we ever got the 3G version in Australia, come to think of it. If we did, I don't remember which network it was in. Yeah, no idea. Yeah, by the time I got to Australia, I just got the regular one because I had the 3G one from Japan. Not that I could ever use the 3G because it was carrier locked and I couldn't use any other SIM card in the damn thing, but still. Didn't know that at the time I was ordering it. It was still unknown. They wouldn't say. We did, it was on Vodafone. That makes sense, I guess, yeah. Such a great console, way better than 3DS. You deserve better. I don't know about that. I never did like the thumbsticks on the Vita. People are idiots for ignoring the Vita and go 3DS. No, they're not. They went, whoop! They went there because 3DS is where they had the game library they wanted. That was close. He was close to blowing up then. Saw him flash. Man, I tell you what. That ticking area thing I'm doing around here. It's good for my farms, but it also means hostile mobs spawn when I'm away. They hide and wait. Might as well check on the farm, see how active they've been while we're here, actually. That's more like it. I mean, it's still not fast, but at least it's producing. A couple more over there. God, that's the slowest cactus farm ever. Check on the iron farm, too. Vita didn't have Pokemon Random Crossing? Yeah. Software sells. That's why the Nintendo Wii was such a success, even though it was a piece of shit hardware-wise. It had the software people wanted to play. Interesting. Apparently my villagers, while trying to breed, are dropping carrots. Through the corners, I suppose. Meanwhile, bugger all iron golems. Still haven't found an iron farm that works in Bedrock. Thought I did for a while there, but then it stopped working. Don't know why. It did work, and then it didn't work. It's incredibly frustrating. Tell you what, the first person to figure out how to make a properly effective iron farm in Bedrock is going to get a lot of YouTube views. At least this current version of Bedrock, because the old versions don't really work anymore. I tried 4 different variety and a couple of my own designs. Get nothing. We're all full up. I've got 3D menus and Nintendo's put a console. Meh, most of Nintendo's consoles are really. Didn't I see Yuki in here earlier? Sure did, Skulkit. Sure did. She's probably gone by now. Ended her stream through a host and then popped off to whatever a day holds for her. Wouldn't be surprised if she's not here anymore. But yeah, she was here. First time I've seen her pop into my stream, actually. It's quite pleasant. Ink sacks. And zombie flesh. And alright, we're halfway there to our final conduit. Not that we really need it at this point, but still. Another session at the zombie farm, I'll have it sorted out on that. Oh, forgot the gunpowder. And cool. Alright, so let's go grab a little more iron. Couple of sticks. Make a few more disposable picks. I reckon 3 more should do the trick. So we'll make 4, just to be sure. Running a bit low on snacks as well, aren't we? What else have we got in here? Bread, I guess. Those chocolate box of yours are trippy? Yeah, they're awesome. Portable storage, gotta love it. If they are dropping carts, that means they are overcrowded and the item will glitch through the walls. Really? First time I've seen it happen since I built the farm, so I don't know. Shrug. .3DS didn't have near the same amount of support as DS did though? No, probably not. Still though, 3DS success was built upon the back of the DS, so still hardly surprising. I was hoping Nintendo would go out of business for a while, so the sake of this can go over. I was kind of hoping that Nintendo would be bought out by someone who would alter their general corporate attitude. Every year or two, there's that rumor that Apple's going to buy Nintendo. That'd be an interesting mix of corporate cultures. But yeah, I love Nintendo for You know, a lot of the games they do. But I hate them for their corporate culture that just makes so many just shitty, arrogant bullshit decisions. I mean, life as a content creator when it comes to Nintendo stuff is just such a pain in the ass. Never heard of an American company buying a Japanese company? There's a reason for that. There are laws in Japan to help stop it. It's not the language barrier or anything. There are plenty of options when it comes to that. But there are actually laws in Japan to help prevent foreign interests buying out their big deal companies. So yeah, I'm not even sure what the legal method would be if Apple ever did say want to buy Nintendo. There's a path to it, but legally it's quite difficult and complicated. I don't remember the exact details of it. I remember reading about it once upon a time though. Need some of those laws here in Australia. Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that. Heard of a few times Japanese companies buying American businesses. Yep. There's no, the law doesn't work the other way around. It's just to try and preserve the Japanese stuff. But yeah, they're free to buy whoever they like. So it'll be easier for Sony to buy Nintendo than Apple or Microsoft then? Legally speaking, I suppose, yeah. Hope that never comes to pass, though. I can't imagine a more nightmarish situation than Sony buying Nintendo. God. I wonder what the suicide rate amongst gamers would be if that ever happened. That would upset a lot of people. Yeah, that'd be the way to do it, wouldn't it? If Nintendo bought Sony Computer Entertainment out and made crossplay work. Hashtag good guy Nintendo. Yeah, Sony would never sell off the game business at the moment anyway. It's literally the only part of the Sony business that's making them any money. Except for perhaps the movie studio. But yeah, it's Nintendo Computer... Sony Computer Entertainment is what's keeping Sony afloat. Because their phones aren't selling well, their laptops aren't selling well, their music business is not doing well. Yeah, pretty much anything else Sony does is not doing well. PlayStation stuff though, it's doing fine. Yeah, the VAIO laptops. Used to see them a lot in movies. A lot of product placement for VAIO laptops. Don't see it much anymore because I don't have the money to spend anymore. Because, like I said, the other parts of Sony's businesses are not doing well. The VAIO laptops were actually quite nice. Overpriced for what they were. But then again, so are Apple laptops, and I still use those. And the phones are pretty good too. The Android phones they make, the Xperia line of phones, are really quite nice. Nice designs, good cameras. But I just couldn't compete with the money that Samsung was spending on marketing. Oh yeah, TVs as well, of course. I think the TVs are doing okay-ish. Because I think they sell a lot of panels to other people as well. Do they still do the car audio stuff? I'm not really a car guy, so I don't know. And James Bond franchise, yep. Spider-Man 2. I know you worked in car audio. Sony stuff sold a heap to the uneducated masses. Yeah. That. Don't understand why they don't make an exclusive James Bond game for PS4. I would bet there's something in the license that's stopping them from doing that. Because, you know, they own the license to the franchise, but they don't own James Bond. So I bet there's something in the original license that says you're not allowed to water down the franchise by shoveling out a bunch of fucking video games and shit. Licensed games are going extinct. Oh, they've been pretty much dead for ages. You still get the occasional one, like the Lord of the Rings stuff, but yeah, by and large. Because it's so difficult to make a good game and have it come out at the same time as a movie, to maximize your profits and marketing budgets and stuff like that, it just stopped happening. Because most licensed games were shit because of that. They had a set-in-stone release date that they could not miss because all the marketing money was tied around it. So whether the game was finished or not, or how buggy it was, or how good it was, or how much more time it could have used cooking, it had to release at a certain time. That's why so many licensed movies, or you know, movie-based games and stuff, was just so shit. And that is, of course, by the way, why the new Spider-Man game has nothing to do with any Spider-Man movie. So they could just take their time with it and actually make a good Spider-Man game for a change. And I did play it at E3, by the way, that new Spider-Man game. Feels good. I sucked at it. I wish I had more time with it so I could get better and learn the combat system better, but it felt good, especially the web swinging. The web swinging and stuff felt real good. I fucking nailed it. You speak of ET on Atari. Well, that's kind of where it started. I mean, there were licensed games before ET, but yeah. That's one of the earliest examples of a licensed game just having to hit a deadline and being completely shit because of it. That could be fun, a decent Spider-Man. Yeah, it's been a while. I think, what was it, Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2 or 3? PlayStation 2 maybe. I think it was the last time a Spider-Man game has ever been praised as good. So that's a long while back. But yeah, I think this new one is going to change all that. Because even though we only got about half an hour with it, it was good. Looked good, felt good, played good. There's a lot of promise there. I'm even half considering investing in a PlayStation Pro for it. I really shouldn't because I don't play my PlayStation much that anymore, but I do have a new 4K monitor coming in for a review. I've got a 4K capture card sitting here. Why wouldn't I? Even though the PlayStation Pro doesn't really do 4K. Not really. Not proper 4K. 4K-ish at best. Still though, that Spider-Man exclusive PlayStation 4, the red one with the logo on it and everything. Oh my god, it looks good. It looks so good. It's exactly my kind of licensed console. They haven't made it look too childish, but they've just made it look kind of awesome. Oh yes, Shattered Dimensions was good. I did play Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and I remember enjoying that a lot. Especially the Spider-Man Noir stuff. Oh, the Noir stuff in that game was good. Yeah, I played that on the... Wait, what? I think I played that on the Wii, actually. Was that on the Wii? Shattered Dimensions? I've probably still got it. I should look for it. I don't know whether I actually finished the damn thing or not. I don't think I did. Maybe I should... Yeah, ooh, wait, that's a thought. Maybe I should do some streams or a Let's Play or something of Shattered Dimensions before the new game comes out. As the last good Spider-Man game. But yeah, no, sorry, I did forget about that. That is absolutely a good Spider-Man game. You're right. Love my PS4 Pro. Don't use as much the Xbox. Still sub console, yeah. I mean, I don't use my Xbox One X that much either, but when I do want to use it, it's so much better than the standard Xbox One. Just significantly better. It's only on 360. I must have played it on 360 then, because that's where I was playing most of my console games back when that came out. So, and if so, I want. Ooh, can someone Google that for me? Is Shattered Dimensions on the backwards compatibility list? Because chances are I've still got my disc, because I don't really get rid of my game discs. So if I did play it on 360, I've probably still got the disc over there. And if I've still got the disc over there, is it on the backwards compatibility list so I could play it on Xbox One X without having to dig out my 360? Don't know why I couldn't hit him there for a second. Weird. That's the second time today hitbox has been weird with the sword. Must have something to do with swimming down. Or straight up. I think, yeah, swimming straight down or straight up. That's when my sword glitched out today. I wonder if there's an issue there. Topic Spider-Man Soda, what did you think of the ending of Infinity Wars? Well, without saying any spoilers, it's going to be a long wait for the second one. I think it ended well though. And it was a very Empire Strikes Back kind of ending. Kind of the all is lost. How are they going to come back from this kind of moment? I still don't think any movie series has done a better Empire Strikes Back ending than Empire Strikes Back, but Infinity War came close to matching that feeling of, oh, I need to watch the next one. So many people hated it, but I liked it. Yeah, I mean, I understand why people hated it. Because a lot of people here today are all about the instant gratification. If you leave them hanging like that, they bitch and whine and piss and... But it is the sensible way to win that. It'll be more enjoyable once both movies are out in home movies, so you can watch them both back to back. Just like the Lord of the Rings movies. They're so much better when you watch them back to back to back. Just shotgun them. All 12 hours worth of the director's editions. But yeah, seeing them, you know, a year apart or whatever it was at cinemas was not nearly as good. Even though they looked great up on the big screen. Need to go, I'm afraid. Catch you. Alright, man. I'll catch you later. Have one for Infinity War, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers. I don't think it's backwards compatible. Ah, it's a shame. Oh well. I'm pretty sure my 360 still works fine. So hasn't been plugged in about 3 years, I guess. But I'm pretty sure it still works fine. I'm gonna need more picks. I wildly underestimated how many picks I needed.
Pat on the back for this guy.
There's so much text that you broke my new alert background.
We were at the beach, everybody had matching towels, somebody went under a dock and there they saw a rock. It wasn't a rock, it was a rock lobster, rock lobster, rock lobster, rock. Lobster, rock lobster.
That might be one of the worst ones yet. Thank you very much, Spanky Bear. 11 months in a row. Prime sub right there. Can we spam the love in the chat, please? If you're a subscriber, feel free to use the old blunt love. If you're not a subscriber, use the purple hearts. But either way, please de-lurk if you're still lurking, and show some appreciation. Nearly a year of sub right there. You gonna let it lapse next month? Or do you want that 12-month badge? How bad do you want it? But it wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster. B-52s. God damn it, they suck. But they suck in such a glorious way. You want to hate them, but you just can't. Alright, better do another junk run up here and head back and make more picks. One of my favourite Family Guy jokes is Iraq lobster. Just a little lobster in a turban. Made me laugh. Hello there, Howard. How you doing? On a scale from 0 to Tenacious D, how bad do they suck? I love Tenacious D. Mind bullets. Is that everything? If not everything, it's most things. Alright then, I guess we'll make a bunch more picks. I prefer Jack Black as next to the musician. I don't know about that. Jack Black is very, very entertaining, and he has a lot of charisma, but he doesn't have a lot of range as an actor. A lot of movies he's in, he plays pretty much the exact same character, which is why they hired him to be that guy, but still. There are a couple of films. Yeah, there's at least 3, I think. No, there's at least... I think there's 2 Rock Lobster jokes and there's another couple B-52 jokes. Like, one of the newscasters at one point does the B-52 joke. And there's another reference where someone says, thanks shouting guy from the B-52s. He's chastising someone else for being too loud. Now try to get some sleep out there. I only know them from the tributes. Really? You only know Tenacious D from tribute song? Oh my god, you have some education to do. Alright. Next time I take a break, or whenever you get bored of the stream, I want you to go to YouTube, type in Tenacious D and The Metal. It's one of my favourite tracks from them. It's all about how different styles of music tried to kill metal. And they failed. Techno tried to destroy the metal. There's a one of the first results you'll get if you search it on YouTube is probably the live performance, which is really good as well. I'd put it on now, but we are recording this for YouTube, and if I put it in the live stream, YouTube will copyright strike me. If we're streaming something else, I might be tempted to do it right now, but no, I can't. I cannot do it. Put it on an AFK? Yeah, I could put it on it during the AFK bit, couldn't I? Because we don't record that anyway. What am I doing here? Fish. Seven picks. Surely 7 picks is going to be enough. At some point I really should have just made another diamond one, but whatever. Yeah, we're about 40 minutes away from the next AFK break, so I'll probably forget, but... He thought 7 picks was going to be enough. He was wrong. I should do my Stanley Parable voice to read that out. So many people for years and years and years. I wound up deleting most of the comments about it because it's just not relevant. But a lot of the videos I do when I just do sort of a voiceover that I record first thing in the morning when my voice is all relaxed and stuff. Comment after comment after comment after comment. You sound like the Stanley Parable guy. Are you the Stanley Parable guy? It's usually Americans who could just confuse the accent. Just play Stanley Parable. I could. You know what? I never have. I do own it. It's sitting in my Steam library, but I've never got around to it yet. It's ridiculous. One of those many, many games that I just haven't got around to yet. Costume Quest is another one of those. I've got Costume Quest and Costume Quest 2 that I bought on Steam sale like 2 years ago. Still haven't played those. Might get a chance to, though. Too many good games coming out. What's the next game coming out? There's Monster Hunter World, there's the new Tomb Raider, there's the Spider-Man game. What else we got coming out over the next few months? Still got to finish Far Cry. Haven't even touched any of the DLC from that yet. God of War, I still got to finish that. Super Mario World. No, I did finish that. Although I haven't done the Dark Side of the Moon DLC. Sorry, I'm thinking Odyssey, but yeah, Super Mario World. Played that. I don't even know how many times I finished that. Isn't that... We're probably due for a re-release of that at some point, aren't we? There'll be another re-release of Super Mario World. Probably when we get the online thing, actually. Nintendo Online. They haven't mentioned anything about SNES games yet, have they? The NES games, yes. SNES games, no. I wonder if Super Mario World will be available again. If I have not finished Super Mario World. What are you talking about? Super Mario World did not come out. Of course so. Came out 20 years ago. 30 years ago. Oh, it's Mario Party you're thinking of. Right, okay. Nobody ever finishes Mario Party. Mario Party is a video game that nobody has ever finished. Fun fact. Some people have tried to finish it, but always wind up in a fist fight. It's like Monopoly. No one ever finishes a game of Monopoly. It always ends in a fight. Before the game is over. There's black eyes and bruises and broken bones and calls to emergency services. Neighbors complain about the noise. Tables get flipped. I honestly God don't think I've ever finished a game of Monopoly. Finished a few games of Monopoly Junior. I used to play with my little sister. It's the only board game I could tolerate playing with her. Mainly because she was so dumb I just took advantage of her. She couldn't understand the rules. I don't talk about my family much, but yeah, my sister's an idiot. I don't know what happened to her in utero, but I think Mum drank some paint or something. I definitely got the brains. Yeah, Netflix on Switch. We're still waiting for that. They did at some point saying that Netflix did say they were working on it. I don't know why we don't have it yet. It's weird. It'd be super nice to have Netflix on Switch because I very, very often save a whole bunch of Netflix shows, pretty much as many as they'll let me save locally, to my iPad when I fly. That's really the only thing I use my iPad for when I travel, is watching videos and stuff. And if they let me store a bunch of offline Netflix stuff on my Nintendo Switch, I could even leave the iPad at home and save myself a bit of extra bag space and a bit of extra cable and charger space as well. Oh well. I mean, I use my iPad all the time at home for all kinds of things. It's a device I use when I lie in bed watching TV and stuff. You know, I'll surf the web and check email and do all kinds of stuff with my iPad. But when I travel, because I have to take my laptop anyway, when I'm in the hotel room and I need to do computery stuff, I do it on the laptop. So, you know, I need to edit. So it's only a video watching device when I travel. Although that said, it's not always just Netflix stuff. I often take... yeah, I guess it has been a while since I've put local files under the thing deliberately for OPlayer and stuff like that as well. So almost always Netflix offline viewing these days, so yeah. I could lighten my travel load a bit. Savage to assistant? Nah, she's a bitch anyway. Seriously. Fun story about my sister. There's a bit of personal knowledge that I don't know whether I've ever shared. I think I might have shared it once online in a stream, probably a drunk stream. My sister once told a friend of mine, because, you know, back down in Hobart, after I moved away from Hobart, my sister once told a friend of mine that my mother had died, and he should tell me, because, you know, I don't speak to my sister, and she knows I wouldn't answer a phone call if she called me. So she once told a friend of mine, my best friend, or at least the best friend she knew about, that Mum had died. It was a lie. She had not died. But my sister thought it'd be funny. That's the type of person she is. It's one of the many, 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 many reasons I haven't spoken to her in 15 years. And the only shame about that is I have a niece out there that I've never met. Possibly even more. But, yeah, the niece is all I know about. Oh, well. Chances are my sister would have poisoned my niece against me anyway. There you go. There's a bit of rare insight into Blunty's family life. Not a subject to cover very often. Cody on the Switch, but that will never happen. Nah, that'll never happen. Just ordered the GPD XT Plus. Is that the Android one? That's the Android one, isn't it? I think. Multi-family dramas. Oh yeah, that's a small sampling. That's the smallest sampling of the reasons that I don't have anything to do with my biological relations, and haven't done in a very long time. They are a monstrous group of people. Just vile. No, what's that mean? Produce full up. Yeah, I'm the black sheep of my family in many ways. None more than being a decent human being sometimes, because none of them are. Sister's an cruel idiot, greedy, selfish, obnoxious. My mother is a racist. Let me get me started on old Dad. That's not a story for public consumption. Pretty sure he's dead these days, though. He's been gone for a long time, but last I heard he was dead. Who knows, though? Someone once told me my mum was dead, and that was a lie. Don't blame if you're not talking to her after pulling something like that. Oh yeah, I mean, I'd stopped talking to her long before that's done. That was just her attempt at just being shitty at me. It's the Android one. It's the new updated model. Yeah, I thought so. Found on eBay for $100. Yeah, $100 worth a shot. I don't know if I pay much more than 100 for the Android version out there, because I mean, it'd be nicer as a little lamination machine or whatnot, but yeah, not much else you can do with it. The Windows one is pretty limited in many ways as well, but at least you can do a lot with it. Alrighty. You're the black sheep of the Tux family. Yeah, like I said, I've always been the black sheep of the family. Even when we got along, we never really got along. Nobody really understood me. I mean, I know every kid says that at some point. Nobody understands me, but it's true in my case. There were like 2 people in my family that ever kind of got me. And they both died when I was young anyway. My grandparents. My nana on my dad's side, and my pop on my mum's side. The only 2 I ever got along with and ever felt like they got me or respected me or anything. But yeah, there was nobody else like me in anywhere else in my family. It's a pretty big family too. Catholics, you know. Fuckers never stop breeding. GPD win, curious about that too? Yeah, I've got a video about the GPD win from a couple of years back. It's pretty fun. If Microsoft makes an 8-inch Surface tablet, that'd be perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the iPads for that kind of stuff. Although I suppose a Surface tablet would make it easy to do a few different kinds of things, being a more open platform after all. But the iPads are such lovely devices. Surface device. Yeah, I've never actually used any of the Surface devices properly. I mean, I've had hands on one briefly, but I've never actually tried to use one as any kind of daily driver kind of device. And just drops in some food for me. Ah, lovely. Sushi, but from 7-Eleven sushi. Yeah, okay. Many fortunes. Actually, you know what? I'd feel better about 7-Eleven sushi than most convenience store sushi. Because 7-Eleven does have a massive international reputation to keep, and if people start getting sick from the food they sell, then it's a big deal. Some no-name mum and pop, small chain kind of convenience store place, probably not, you know, I would never risk sushi for there, but 7-Eleven, it's probably not going to be very good, but probably won't make you sick. Did you try a sushi burrito before? No, I've never had a sushi burrito. Sounds cool though. They're both things I like. What could possibly go wrong with combining them? Some giant sushi roll, almost burrito sauce. Also, it's literally just sushi, but big. I don't know. I think part of the joy of sushi is the size makes it a perfect little mouthful. Correctly balances the nori with the seaweed, with the fish or whatever filling you've got, things like that. I don't know whether making it big would make it better. Mustache is itchy. Sushi burrito is the next evolution of sushi cuisine. You know what? I think I might actually need even more pickaxes. Bloody hell. I forgot about the columns, because they're solid. Big things in America. Fucking oath they do. See some of the food pictures I put up when I was at E3? Good gracious. I was at a restaurant, had a lovely meal. Wasn't great, but it was lovely. And we decided to order some dessert. So I looked at the dessert menu. I'm pretty full at this stage. And there was a S'mores brownie So I'm figuring it's a brownie with like some melted marshmallow and stuff on it. That sounds delicious. So what I was expecting was a brownie, you know, a brownie slice like that. Just a little brownie with some marshmallow and graham crackers and stuff. Probably fancied up a bit. That's what I was expecting. What landed on my table in front of me was the size of a fucking cake. It was literally a cake covered in like an inch and a half of melted marshmallow. I could not finish it. I feel like if I had even tried to finish it, I would have come home with diabetes. Ridiculous. No wonder Americans have such an obesity problem. Food, portion sizes. Just absolutely absurd. There's a big confusion about quantity and value. They're not the same thing, people. I have not been to Chipotle, no. I did finally get to In-N-Out on my motion trip, though. It's been on the to-do list for a long time. Have you been to In-N-Out? You should go to In-N-Out. Yes, now I can say I have. And it was pretty good, too. Certainly some of the best takeout or fast food hamburgers I've ever had. The fries were not fantastic, but the burger was pretty good. Certainly a lot better than McDonald's or Burger King and that kind of crap. In-N-Out, yeah, I think In-N-Out is overrated. The amount of talk, you know, the amount of times I hear it mentioned versus how good it actually was seems disproportionate, but certainly good. I would eat it In-N-Out far more readily than I would at McDonald's, for example, when it comes to fast food burgers. Any day. Except In-N-Out don't exist in Australia. Not yet, anyway. There was a pop-up In-N-Out that happened in Melbourne early this year, I think. Like just for a one day only. They had an In-N-Out like food stall or something in the city, in the mall or something. And it was incredibly popular apparently. Like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of people. So that might have been some early market research to see how Australians feel about In-N-Out stuff. So maybe there is plans to bring the In-N-Out franchise to Australia. I certainly hope so. And if they do come to Australia, hopefully they come to Uber Eats as well, so I can have it delivered, because I'm very lazy. All American fast food is overrated? I wouldn't say that. Honeybees is pretty damn good. Finally go to Carl's Jr. Australia. We did? Where is it? I've had it before in airports. Like there's... I think there's like 2 or 3 Carl's Jr.'s in the LA airport. I think there's a couple in the Austin airport as well. TGI Fridays is there as well. There's 3 or 4 of those in every airport I've been to in America. You guys have Andrew Jackson at Burger King? Yeah, it's the same thing, but I use the terms interchangeably just to make sense of some people. But yeah, it's called Hungry Jack's here, but it's Burger King. It's just branded differently for some reason. Carl's Jr.'s up the coast now, in Gosford. Okay. I don't really have much of a call to get out that way, but... Or what should I say is I go to Five Guys more often. I bet you do! Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. That's pizza, isn't it, Five Guys? Never had it. Hear about it often, though. GPD being super expensive, lol. Yeah. I mean, it is literally a teeny tiny laptop. It's a full-on Windows machine, but in the size of a 3DS, basically, so... burgers. Sorry, Five Guys is burgers? I thought they were pizza. Eh, whatever. I don't know what I'm thinking of. You know, I don't really have much of a thought to getting some Five Guys inside me. It's not really what I'm into. I mean, sure, some people out there love to have Five Guys inside them on a regular basis, but not me. Why would you ever call your restaurant that? Just for that joke? I never had Papa John's either. I literally am going to have to go back and make even more picks. Like that one pick is not enough. That's a bigger job than I gave it credit for. It's more like you go inside Five Guys. No, because you go to Five Guys to get some Five Guys inside of you. I mean, do they have drive-through? Do you have to go inside Five Guys to get Five Guys inside of you? Is that the way it works? Or can you just drive up to Five Guys and say, hey, I want some of you inside me? Now, if there was like a pizza place called Two Chicks, that's a different story. Bring a crafting table and some sticks with you. Create a full yeah, I really should. That would have been the easy way to do it, wouldn't it? Just bring a stack of iron, a stack of sticks back with me, and yeah. I might do that this round, just in case I don't make enough. It's founded by a father and son and 4 sons. Yeah, I get that the restaurant was literally started by 5 men, but why would you call it Five Guys? Did nobody think it through even slightly? Or did they just want the innuendo? Bolo for creepers. Not getting snuck up on this time. Bolo like a mofo. For those confused, Bolo, B-O-L-O. Police talk, be on the lookout. Just realised how confusing that might have been. Had a very weird conversation with someone once where I had to explain that. And we're watching like Law and Order. Just sort of, you know, the girl I was dating at the time. We're just sort of hanging out in bed, watching some Law and Order. And they talked about putting out a bolo. And she asked me if that had anything to do with the bolo tie. You know, the Western ties with the little, like, the toggle thing. You know, the little skull head toggle and things like that you see in Western guys, the Texas guys wearing sometimes. And she asked if that was a reference to a bolo tie because it encircles the bad guys or something, I think she was saying. I said no, it's an acronym. Be on the lookout. blew her fucking mind. Oh my god, I've been so dumb for so long. Yes, you have. Oops. Oh dear. We are chock-a-blocks. Alright, do I have a spare crafting table? Sure do. Make a fresh batch of sticks, why not? And we'll take a stack of iron back with us. Alright, back we go. As we go past. Nice. Slow, but we'll get there eventually. It's peaceful, just tearing down one of these monuments. It's lovely to do it without having to drain the ocean. Just being able to stay underwater and breathe. Best new thing in Minecraft. Chat room's gone awfully quiet all of a sudden. Okay, Twitch. Is Twitch being buggy for you, Skull Kid? I know they're having trouble with the Xbox app today. I saw a tweet about that earlier. Currently playing No Man's Sky on the main screen. How's that going for you? I'm still of two minds whether to go back to it. On the one hand, ugh, that interface. On the other hand, I want to get to the new stuff, see if it's fun. Still here just reading some stuff about the new B450 motherboards. Yeah, I need to read up on those too. I haven't been properly briefed on the B450 stuff yet. I know the basics, but I need to dig into it a little bit. So I'm probably going to do a build on one soon, because someone's probably going to throw one at me. Probably a gigabyte. Oh, which reminds me, I still need to sort out that mini ITX thing. Just haven't had time to rebuild that yet. Dolphin, don't swim in front of my pickaxe, please. Off you go. I should go back to Zelda, but I don't want to lose the weekend. It's a good way to spend a weekend, though. see much different to the B350? No, they're not. They're not significantly different. Some VRAM stuff, some power delivery stuff. I think they natively support that new AMD drive thing. What's the bloody well called? Only up to the second Divine Beast. Oh wow, you've got a lot of game to go then. Keep going! Spend the weekend playing Zelda. You won't regret it. I never did. Better game than No Man's Sky is. And it's got a B350 motherboard, lol. It was hard enough to find a decent MATX model. I've booked the week for 76 release off. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it myself. I really hope it's good. Fallout 76, I really hope it's good. I would love for it to be everything I hope it is. I'm nervous. Because Bethesda. But I'm hopeful. Because Bethesda. Know what I mean? And you head within Temptation and Slayer booked off already. Hey? It's going to be another good year to be a gamer. Come the big gaming season. Fallout 76, new Tomb Raider game, new Spider-Man. I'm forgetting something, but there's a few. When's that new Forza game coming? Do we have a date on that yet? The new Forza Horizon game. Looking forward to that too. Really enjoyed 3. Didn't really finish it properly, but enjoyed what I did of it. Got more than my money's worth out of it, I feel like. Rude. I should have been keeping count of my picks. How many picks have I gone through? Many! I should probably do a sweep of these before they all despawn. theme of tomorrow's stream. Don't know what we're going to do. Maybe No Man's Sky, but also maybe Sonic Mania, but also maybe we start filling out the Pokédex on Pokemon Ultra Moon before we start preparing to do a playthrough of Crystal. Funny, Twitch has just added to their analytics reporting for streamers. We can see, not what each individual viewer does, but the average of what our viewers tend to watch. At the top of the list of the viewers of my stream is Fortnite. So a lot of you like to watch Fortnite. Shocker. But then there's sort of WoW and Overwatch, blah blah blah. You know, all the standard popular stuff. But then instead of digging down into finer detail, it just has other. So it gives me no guidance whatsoever as to what you guys actually like to watch. Now, hey Blunty, your audience likes to watch all the popular games that everyone likes to watch, and also other. Thanks. That really helps me fine-tune my streams. It's super handy to know that you like watching other games. Minecraft, Overwatch, Fortnite, League of Legends, World of Warcraft, did I say already? And other. It's fantastic. Such a useful tool. Waffling to myself then, I suppose. Oh, Trident guy. Bye, Trident. I'll maybe pick you up later, but I don't need to, because I already have millions of Tridents. Oh, look at this! Trident guy with a shell. I've never seen a guy with both hands filled before. Check him out. I didn't even know that was a possibility. Come on, come up here. Man. There we go. Now we can see you properly. Mine. I wonder what the odds are if you could drop both. Just doing some more research, BC parts, get trained now. That's cool. Alright. Let's do a little sweep here to pick up what I've already dropped. And then take a quick break, go for a drink, have a stretch. Also pick up the tread. Why the systematic ecosystem and template anyway, because the way the spawning works for Guardians in this version of the game is at the surface level they spawn in very, very specific spots. So we're going to use those to farm with because we can target the spawning area. But in the monument itself they spawn randomly on top of prismarine material. So to get rid of those random spawns down below, to make our farm properly efficient, we have to get rid of all the prismarine down there. So that's why we're doing this. And there's a creeper over there. Probably shouldn't take a break with him hanging around. Got him. Okay, this is probably safe enough. Okay, BRBs.